Please state your name and address.
My name is Victoria Lord Riley. I live at 32 Nottingham Road in Landview.
What is your occupation, Mrs. Riley?
I am the publisher and executive editor of the Banner.
And are you also a member of the Landview Hospital Board of Trustees?
Yes, I am.
May I ask the foreperson to hand this to Mrs. Riley? I show you a clipping from the August 25th, 1982 edition of the Banner. Would you read the paragraph I've indicated? Aloud, please, so the grand jury may hear and it may become part of the record.
Although it was freely acknowledged that the two infants in the baby nursery were indeed deliberately switched, I have learned from an unimpeachable source, a staff member of the hospital, that no one on the Landview Hospital staff was responsible.
Thank you. Did you write the article in which this paragraph appears, Mrs. Riley?
Yes, I did.
And your unimpeachable source also claims to know who the responsible party is, isn't that right?
That is correct, yes.
Then, Mrs. Riley, I must ask you to tell this grand jury who that source is. Waiting for your answer, Mrs. Riley. Who is the informant you've mentioned in this article?
I'm sorry. I decline to answer that question.
On what grounds?
On my First Amendment rights as a journalist. My right to protect the confidentiality of my sources.
In some states, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Riley would be completely within her rights in taking this position. But you must be aware that in this state, there is no such right or privilege, as we do not have a press shield law.
I am invoking the protection of a higher law, Miss Van Druten. The Constitution of the United States of America. Also, this information was given to me in strictest confidence, and I could not, in good conscience, violate that trust.
Very well, then. Mrs. Riley, I'm going to file a motion with Judge Cameron asking that you be held in contempt. Will you come with me, please?
Miss Van Druten, am I allowed to ask you a question?
Of course.
What will happen if Judge Cameron finds me in contempt?
You'll be remanded to jail until such time as you purge yourself.
And when would I have to go?
That's entirely up to his honor.
Would he listen to your recommendation in the matter?
He might.
I have something to do. It might seem insignificant, but it's relatively important. My dearest friend is being married today. She had asked me to be matron of honor at her wedding, and obviously between now and then I have a great many things to take care of, and I was wondering if this whole matter could be deferred for a day or two.
I'll do what I can. Please wait here.
I think my fate is being decided in there, right now.
Well, not very much. What's going on in there, anyway?
What's going on is that Deborah Van Druten is asking his honor for my scalp.
Contempt citation?
Yes. Well, I mean, we were expecting it, right? We know that she's very ambitious, and she knows what kind of headlines this will make. Clint, I'm very afraid. I don't want to go to jail. And I don't want to be separated from my children, and this could be for an indeterminate sentence until the judge decides that either I've been punished enough or until I reveal my source.
Well, now, Viki, that's a very viable option. You know, You have a family to look after. You have a very responsible job. There's a lot of people depending on you.
I know it's a tempting rationale. Don't think I haven't thought of it.
Well, I'm not suggesting that you do anything that'll compromise your principles.
It's gone way beyond principles, I think. I'm doing this as much for Kevin and Joey as anything else. So that hopefully one day when they grow up, the press in this country will be at least as free as it is now. After all, you can never have a free state without free press.
No, it's never happened yet.
I mean, what if Woodward and Bernstein had been hauled into court and forced to reveal their sources?
Well, the sources would have stopped talking.
Precisely. And the whole Watergate incident would have dried up and been blown away. Of course, there are a lot of people who say that what we don't know, it doesn't hurt us, but...
Yeah, that's a little like saying that if your arm hurts, don't get it x-rayed because you might find out it's broken.
Right. So I have to go through with this. Somebody has to stand up for our rights. But why does it have to be me?
Well, maybe because the good Lord knows that you're strong enough to see it through.
I don't feel very strong right now. I'll tell you a secret. I have never envied Job.
Judge Cameron will see you at 1 o'clock, Mrs. Riley.
Oh, and until then?
Well, you're free to go. But if I may offer a little advice, use the time to put your affairs in order.
I wish I hadn't stopped for lunch now in view of Miss Van Druden's advice.
Now, come on. Judge Cameron is going to tell Miss Van Druden that she has embarked on a totally pointless witch hunt. He's going to dismiss the contempt motion she has against you.
Oh, please.
Mrs. Riley, your attorney is already with Judge Cameron. We should be ready for you in just a few moments.
May I play devil's advocate for a minute?
You can do anything you like. Just keep talking.
All right. You know that I'm with you no matter what happens, don't you? Well, so is the Chronicle. Now, that judge in there lowers the boom on you. There's going to be a full-page editorial tomorrow supporting your position 100%.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I sense a however coming.
However,
Yeah.
However, your unimpeachable source must know who actually switched those two babies. Am I right?
Yeah.
Then why doesn't he or she come forward? Now, I know what happened was a criminal act, but restitution has been made. Katrina has her baby back. I can't imagine the punishment being that severe.
I asked my source not to come forward. I want to fight this on the freedom of the press alone, Clint. Besides, it wouldn't free me from the contempt charge. According to my lawyer, I am the only one that can purge myself, and that is only by going before the grand jury and naming names.
Names? You mean there was more than one person involved?
I'm not going to say any more because you'll find yourself in the grand jury room next.
Well, I can't think of anything I like better, especially if you and I went to jail together.
Oh, you think they have co-ed?
Will you come in, please, Mrs. Riley?
I'll wait here for you.
No, you go ahead. I'll be okay. I'll see you later. I told you to go home.
What was the verdict?
I'll tell you all about it in the car if you will drive me home so I can change for the wedding.
Fine. What about your car?
I'll leave it here. Somebody can come and pick it up later. Message, Mrs. Riley. Underwear, toiletries. You'll be provided with prison clothes. I hadn't even thought about that. I'll need a few moments to say goodbye to my children. Of course. Excuse me. Hi. Oh, my babies. Oh. Nice. Sit over here next to me. Okay, up here. Now, do you remember when I I told you, listen, look at me now, listen to me. Do you remember when I told you this morning I might have to go away for a bit? Well, it's unfortunately definite now.
Where are you going to? A business or something?
Yeah, well, it's kind of for business. I have to go to the county jail. And when I come back from the jail, I'm going to write a story about all the people that I met there and about all the things that happened in jail. And this lady right over here, Marshall Dobbs, she's going to take me over to the jail, but we have to go pretty soon. And the only problem is I don't really know exactly how long I'm going to be gone. But as I said this morning, Kim and Becky will be here, and they'll take good care of you, okay? I'm going to miss my boys so much, so very much.
I'm going to miss you, Mom, right, Joey?
Oh, I know you will, honeys. I'll be home just as soon as I can, okay?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Riley, but we need to leave soon.
Okay, all right. Boys, why don't you come upstairs with me, okay?
Hey, wait till you see the new baseball glove Frank got.
Well, you can show it to me upstairs. Bring it in Mommy's room while I put some things together. I'll only be a few minutes. Come on, up the stairs. Let's go. Good. Thank you very much for coming by.
Are you sure I can't say anything that'll change your mind?
Don't make it any harder for me than it already is, please.
I just want you to know that if there was any way I could serve this sentence for you, I would.
Mrs. Riley, let me take your bags.
Thank you.
I'll wait for you in the car.
Thank you.
But no more than minutes.
It's very nice of you to say that. And very sweet.
It's not nice and it's not sweet. It's just something you want to do when you love someone. And I love you. Look, don't worry about the boys. I'll take care of them. In fact, I'll stay here if you'd like while you're gone.
That would be lovely, but I think it might scare them needlessly. They think that I'm visiting jail for a story. Well, it's sort of true. I just twisted the facts a bit.
All right, well, I'll stop by every day. I'll spend some time with them, and I'm not going to stop working for your release until I got you back here.
Thank you. Believe me, I don't want to stay there a second longer than I have to.
I'll follow the marshal's car over.
No, please don't. Please. They're not going to let you in the front door anyway, and I'd much rather say goodbye here. I have to go now anyway. I'll see you very soon. Thank you.
I gotta tell you, this ain't France, Eunice. This ain't World War II, Eunice. Shut up, Eunice, before I break your face, Eunice.
Now, $1 million about to go down the drain.
You sound happy about it.
Well, I feel bad for everybody else, but not Uncle Asa.
Well, don't feel bad about Marco. He deserves to lose, too.
Why do you hate him so much?
Because all Marco cares about is himself. I'll bet he's replaced Rudy already. And he's convincing Asa that he can go on with this thing. 2, 3 more people get killed, he don't care.
How'd you know Rudy was killed?
I just know.
Look, could you do me a favor and finish these up for me? I got an appointment with Larry Wolick, and I'll get cleaned up.
What's wrong with you?
Well, my job is a security guard. All the employees have to have a physical. Gary, wait a second. Hold it. I tried to make it clear to you before. You're not welcome here right now.
Just waiting for Cassie.
Well, wait for her outside, please.
Well, I prefer to wait inside.
Why, so you can jump on another actor or one of my crew people again? I'm tired of this now. Get out of here.
Listen, somebody's got to look out for Cassie, and I know you won't.
What makes you think I won't look out for her?
Well, Marco, I know how you feel about women. Just things to throw out in the street or to stick in some porno flick or
That was a
something.
long time ago. You have no idea how I feel about it. I tried to sit you down and discuss all this stuff with this, but no, you
Sit me
wouldn't hear
down?
it.
Sit me down and con me into thinking you're a nice guy now? No way, Marco. Forget it.
See, you prefer to judge and to hate. I don't need anyone like that on my set. Now get out of here.
Gary! Gary, help!
Whoa.
Help!
You doing carrying this heavy box?
Well, I had really not wanted to be a helpless woman. But I think I'm a little too old for this kind of women's lib.
What do you got in here?
Would you believe it? I have clay, I have a potter's wheel, and I have some tools. See, I have decided that I should start making pottery.
Sounds great.
Uh-huh. Oh, Gary, you know what I just heard on the radio? A man said that the leading man in your brother's movie had been...
Yeah, I know. I heard it, too. He's dead. And with any luck, maybe Asa Buchanan will put an end to this movie, and Marco will be the loser he's always been.
That's a terrible thing to say. Listen, kiddo, wait a minute. I have been pussyfooting around your bitterness towards your brother. Now, you know what you sound like? You sound as if you were glad a man had died.
Hold it. Take it easy. Wait, you don't have to do that.
Having a piece.
What happened?
I was here looking out for Marco. I heard he was going to be editing. Hey, listen. I didn't know this whole thing was a setup, really.
That's why you fell for it.
Listen, I'm not the killer. I get a good view of the studio in case somebody...
Why didn't you tell me you were there?
Because I knew you wouldn't go for it, Marco. You would have told me to get lost.
Why did you try to sneak out of here?
Thing Edwina just talked to you about. I figured, that it wasn't going to be the end of the film. No reason to come here. So I...
Where'd you get the gun? You got a permit. Why do you need a handgun?
Go over Rudy Lavasso's role, I thought.
So you brought it here to protect Marco?
Yeah.
But what is Ed supposed to think you with a gun in your pocket?
The gun's legal.
Yeah, lucky for you, we'd be in jail.
Oh, what's the difference? I'd probably end up in jail. Expect your wife practically accused...
Today. The only scene we haven't shot. The one that the killer wants to make sure he prevents.
It's a made-up story. Why would anyone want...
It's based on an actual murder.